Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that's both a cautionary tale and a fascinating case study of how real estate markets can shift dramatically. I'm talking about Austin, Texas, once the darling of the housing boom, now facing a bust that's leaving many homeowners in the red. But what makes this really interesting is how it challenges our assumptions about supply, demand, and the long-term health of a market. Let's break it down. First, the hook. Imagine bidding $20,000 over asking price and writing a heartfelt letter to secure your dream home, only to watch its value plummet by 30% in just a few years. That's exactly what happened to Ryan McPherson, a surgeon who moved to Austin in 2022. Personally, I think this story highlights a bigger trend: the dangers of FOMO, fear of missing out, in real estate. What many people don't realize is that markets can turn on a dime, and timing is everything. Now, let's set the context. Austin was the poster child for the pandemic-era housing boom. Low mortgage rates, remote work, and a flood of California expats drove prices to record highs. In my opinion, this was a classic case of demand outpacing supply. But here's where it gets interesting: developers responded by building like crazy. Between 2020 and 2025, Austin's housing supply grew by over 20%. If you take a step back and think about it, this was a logical reaction to the boom. But it also set the stage for the bust. What this really suggests is that supply and demand aren't static, they're dynamic. When the Fed raised interest rates in 2022, mortgage rates spiked, and buyer enthusiasm cooled. Suddenly, all those new homes hit the market just as demand was drying up. One thing that immediately stands out is how quickly things can shift. Joel Berner, an economist at Realtor.com, calls it an inverted swoosh, a quick rise followed by a long, painful decline. I find this fascinating because it shows how external factors like interest rates can completely change the game. Now, let's talk about the human impact. Homeowners like McPherson and Gary Froniowski are facing massive losses. McPherson is preparing to sell his home for $420,000 to $450,000, down from the $615,000 he paid. Froniowski estimates his home has lost half its value. What makes this really interesting is how it contrasts with the narrative of Austin only goes up. In my opinion, this is a reminder that real estate isn't a guaranteed investment. It's a detail I find fascinating: how quickly the narrative can flip. But here's the broader perspective: Austin's story isn't just about a bust. It's also about the long-term fundamentals of the market. Despite the downturn, Austin remains a desirable place to live. It's drawing big employers, young workers, and has strong demographic trends. Keith Hughes from Zonda calls it a comeback market. Personally, I think this raises a deeper question: are we seeing a correction, or is this the new normal for Austin? What many people don't realize is that Austin's situation is unique compared to other pandemic hotspots like Boise or Denver. Its decline has been steeper and longer lasting. But it's also a high-profile case study for YIMBYs, yes, in my backyard, who argue that building more homes is the key to affordability. If you compare Austin to San Francisco, which barely built anything, the contrast is striking. In my opinion, this supports the idea that supply can indeed moderate prices, though it comes with short-term pain. Finally, let's talk about the lessons here. For buyers, it's a reminder to be cautious about timing the market. Froniowski puts it well: you can't time the market. You never know when the peak is, and you never know when the bottom is. For sellers, it's about adjusting expectations. Real estate agents like Cynthia Matiza and John Mundell are seeing clients price at a loss, a far cry from the bidding wars of 2022. What this really suggests is that the market is resetting to a more sustainable level. So, what's the takeaway? Personally, I think Austin's story is a reminder that real estate is cyclical. Booms are followed by busts, and corrections are part of the process. But it's also a testament to the resilience of markets with strong fundamentals. Will Austin bounce back? I believe it will, but not overnight. And for homeowners like McPherson, it's a costly lesson in the risks of buying at the peak. What do you think? Is Austin's bust a warning sign for other markets, or a unique case? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more insights into the ever-changing world of real estate. See you next time.